So hi guys, I want to talk about makeup while I make some dinner with my kids. So like just this past year, I stopped completely wearing makeup, and it's been something that I would do and then I'd stop and then I'd do and then I stopped, and I was never like really big with makeup. I only wore blush, lip liner, and lip gloss. That was all I did, but it's still makeup. Like, that's still makeup, and it did change the way my face looked. Sorry, I'm gonna put this bit on. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let's put this up here in my little cabinet. Let's try to get this to work. So it did change my appearance. Like, it did make me look different, and I thought that I looked better. I really did. I thought that I looked better, so that's what I did. Now that, excuse the messy house behind me. Now that, it's like I'm a little older, I just got rid of the makeup, like, I don't know, like at the beginning of this year. I just got rid of it, and I was like, it's time to go, and especially, I don't know, it was just time to go. Like I started wearing makeup. This is how I got into makeup too. I didn't start wearing makeup till I was 22. Yes, 22. Like, so after I turned 21, I was like, ooh, I'm 21, and then next year was 22, and I turned 22, and then my friends were like, okay, let's start going out to the bar. And summer of 2022 was not good. Was not good, guys. It was not good year for me. I went into that world of kind of hookup culture. I didn't really hook up with a bunch of guys, but I did meet this one dude and then this other dude during that time, and that's a lot for me. And we didn't one wasn't met at the bar or at the gathering where the club and the dance, and one wasn't met there. I met him through text through Snapchat or whatever, and they weren't good. They were not good dudes. And it was like I started drinking, which I did not do. So I started drinking 22, started partying at 22, started waking makeup at 22. This is how it went. So we were going out on the weekends, dancing, drinking, what you see these days, what this world is heavily promoted is people going out. I got it smoking up in her. It's people going out partying. I need a knife. So like I said, I started doing that, and me and my friends at the time, we would get ready together. So we'd get ready together, and I'd just show up with an outfit on, and they were doing makeup, doing hair, putting on nails, personal nails and things, and they were like, girl, you need to put on makeup, you need to do this, you need to do that. So I did. And so they did my makeup, they did my stuff, and I was like, you know what, I think I like the way I look like this. And you know what, I don't have any pictures of the way I looked before, but when I did, I deleted my whole Snapchat and all those photos of me in my old life, because I thought I looked like a clown in that makeup. And that's how I felt before. So in high school, when I went to prom and formal, my aunt, she did makeup, and she did my makeup for the junior formal or whatever, and she did it, and I wiped it all off. I took it all off because it was so heavy on my face, and I felt like I looked like a clown, and my freckles were completely gone. I was like, I'm a freckleless clown? No, thank you. So I took it off, and you know, she wasn't there anymore to say anything. You know, she did my makeup and she was like, bye, gotta go to work, you look so great, beautiful. I was like, thank you. Okay, yeah, I need to stop doing that because I still do that to this day. I do lying. They call it white lies, but I still do it. I'm such a people pleaser, and I'm not that person anymore. Like, I am getting out of that, and people don't like it when there's someone who is a people pleaser and they don't want to deal with that stuff anymore. To where I was going. So yeah, I didn't even really wear makeup like that. And 2022 was like the hardest year for me. Like, it was the most alone I've ever felt. Like, it was when I found YAHUAH. The beginning of my journey of finding YAHUAH was in that year, and the story for that is super crazy, and I will tell you guys. But yeah, I just don't, it's just never been my thing. And then now when I'm older, it's just not my thing. It's not me. Like, when I put it on my face, I'm like, who is this? And you know, I'm like, ooh, I look better. But what about me right now, barefaced? This should be the standard. Just what I look like, nothing, barefaced. So that's what I decided to do. That's exactly what I decided to do. This is about to get a little crazy because I'm putting meat on here. So yeah, to add on to that, you know, at the end of last year, you know, I started reading the scriptures from Genesis, from the beginning and, you know, to the end. And I haven't gotten to the end yet, guys. I'm only in, this is loud, hopefully y'all can hear me. I'm in the book of Jasher right now. I wanted to say Yasher in Hebrew, but I'm in that one right now. Okay, I enjoy cooking, but sometimes with the meat and when you put the oil in and it gets really poppy, I don't like that. But yeah, so if I'm in Yasher, you know, I read the book of Enoch and looking at makeup and how the women change their appearance to adore themselves and to, you know, alter their image. It really bothered me too as well. And you know, I read this after I gave up the makeup, so it really was just like confirming, like it was confirming for me, you know. And it really hurt me too, also in the beginning of Jubilees. It could have been in the beginning of Yasher as well when I read the verse, but the women, they were refusing to have children to keep their body in the image that it was in. And I feel guilty of that because here's the thing. Now this is a touchy and tough topic for me. So after I had my daughter, I made one of the most terriblest decisions I've ever made in my life. And sometimes I do get really emotional about it. I'm like fighting not to cry about this. But I got my tubes removed and it was stupid. But I did that because I was overwhelmed at the time, which everyone is. You know, you get another baby and, you know, your life changes a little bit. And it's always tough in that time. But you can get so caught up in how tough it is. You really do forget all the good stuff that's there. So yeah, so that made me think of that huge mistake that I made. And then I was like looking at my boobs, and I was like, my boobs are so big and all this stuff, and I had like all these negative things to say about myself, and like, probably can't hear me. I have to let the wave pass. Let me go check on my kids. So they're outside in their pool, and don't worry, my dog is here with them. I'll put my dog on here, but not my kids. You know, she's watching them. She's with them, and I do go out and check on them, y'all. So don't CPS call me. Call the cops on me. But yeah, I was like, all these negative thoughts, all these things. Like, I did not see the beauty because I was producing a lot of milk with my breasts. And my partner loved my breasts, and I just couldn't see it. And then even though, you know, you had the late nights, you know, getting up, pumping, feeding. At the end of the day, that was tough. But the baby, like, having the baby, taking care of your baby, I mean, it was all worth it, and I just couldn't see it. And so I was looking at myself negatively, my body changing, all these things. So when I read that, I was like, I'm being those women, you know, caring so much about my figure more than children. And, you know, it was in the book of YAHUAH or Jubilees at the very beginning, what the women were doing. And then the men started forsaking the women. They started not liking their woman, because when they did try to have babies, and when they were like, oh, what I was doing was terrible, when they did try to have babies, they couldn't do it. And so the men started forsaking the women who did care about it. And they were also, you know, they were only doing that, keeping their body in that, so they could get a man, so they could, you know, it was more of a lustful thing, and more about, you know, them wanting to look perfect and with the makeup and this all the time, you know. So it was like that. Nothing wrong with wanting your body to be in tip-top shape, but the way they were doing it, they were, you know, it wasn't good. Like, it became like kind of like idolatry, like idolizing their own body and their appearance as well. But yeah, I'm making them some spaghetti, some pasta. Not the regular spaghetti. I'm like using the little macaroni ones because those are cute. But anyways, going back to what I was saying, yeah, so I just can't do the makeup anymore. I mean, the way like society has affected me, and you know, they say the choices that you make today, you won't always see. Like, it takes time. So when like maybe like a year and a half ago, when I was like, oh, I'm done having kids, you know, I want my boobs to be small, because I did get a boob reduction literally right after I got my tubes removed, like literally like 3 months after, because I was just so fixated on, I don't want to have kids, I don't want to do the kid thing again, I want my boobs to be small, I want my boobs to do this, I don't want my big boobs anymore. And you know, I was so caught up in this image, I was literally throwing away something that I can never get back. So yeah, so me not wearing makeup is like, it's deep for me. And we live in a society that's all about your body. All about your body. And I just think it's terrible. it led me like to making the worst mistake in my entire life. So, and there's a lot of women who are like me who get their tubes removed and they regret it, or get their tubes tied and they regret it. But it's, for me, it's like non-reversible for some women. Like some women can go get their tubes like untied, but mine were completely removed. So I also get like waves of emotion. Like I also get anger. But you know, I'm at this stage where I'm learning from what I did. I also repented for what I did, because, you know, it's okay. It's okay to wear makeup, and, you know, it's okay to get your tubes tied or tubes removed if you don't want any kids. But the reason why I did it was so, like, it was so, it was so fast. It was so speedy. Like, I feel like all I could see was the negatives. Like, and now, like 2 years later, I want another kid. And same with when I had my firstborn, you know, after like 2 years, you know, I'm like, I want another baby. And it's the same thing. Now I'm like, I want another baby. And I'm like, I can't do that. So I'm going to go dump this. I mean, but do you see the seed being planted? Like, I did not care about in high school, like growing up as a child, and then, you know, like up until I was 22, I did not care about makeup. I did not care about my appearance. I did not care about enticing guys. Like, I knew my body, and, you know, I knew what I was doing. I was, you know, I wanted all eyes on me. So, yeah. What else am I gonna say? That's like an emotional topic. LOL. We're just talking about, I did say LOL. We're just talking about makeup, and, you know, it's just getting deeper and deeper. You know, it's just not about the makeup for me. Not just the makeup. Like, it's deeper. Like, I need to be comfortable in who I am. Like, this is like totally enough. Like, I don't need it. Like, you know, I was made perfect, and I was made perfect. I don't need it. We're going to eat outside, but I can literally not think about it, because it literally, you know, it will have me up at night. And I did read a scripture. My dog is looking at me. She's so cute. I did read a scripture, and it was like, you know, don't worry about your worries and stuff, and just not like your emotions and stuff, and anger and all those feelings, because it says, like, you know, in the scriptures, you know, I can't remember the verse, but it will kill you, it'll age you, and it will end up killing you, and you just have to let it go. You have to let it go. You have to give it to YAHUAH, and, you know, repent for what you've done. And, you know, you have to live with the choices that you made, and yeah, you just have to live with it and let it go. And I try for it not to hurt me so much, but it does. It truly does. So, But this is the reason why we have testimonies, right? This is the reason we have testimonies. I mean, this is a little testimony. So yeah. And I'm like kind of iffy about my face being online because people are so weird and gross like these days. You know, the devil is real and he's, you know, he's out here. So I didn't even test these noodles. But I just looked at them and they looked like they're good, and they are. So yeah. So if there's anyone who, you know, is just feeling like, I don't know, like they're not enough by like being barefaced or being like not wearing makeup or not wearing this or not wearing that, and I don't know. Like I changed my wardrobe. Also, I changed my wardrobe to mostly dresses and skirts. I haven't worn pants in like a few months. So I wear like a dress and stuff every few days. Like every day. And then like this dress I literally wore on Monday and then I put it on again today. And I would have been wearing it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to Thursday. To Thursday. I really would have. Like when I got my first dress, I wore it for a whole week. I was like that kid, you know that video of the kid with the dinosaur costume, like hat on, the dinosaur hat on, and he's on the potty. That was me, like with that dress. So yeah. So yeah, if there is anyone who's feeling like they're not enough, or feeling like they're not enough, or they need to do this or they need to do that, you know, you are perfect without, you don't need all the fancy stuff, you don't need the nice car, you don't need anything, get off of social media. Like, don't compare yourself to anyone else. Be grateful for your body. So if there's anyone who's just having like image issues, or if there's any mothers who are in the stage with their kids and they're tired and they're going through all this tough thing and they're like, oh, I can't do another one. Before you make the decision to get your tubes tied or like your tubes removed, give yourself time. And don't be like me. Give yourself at least a year. At least a year and a half, because after a year and a half, I was like, I'm ready for another one. And I was like, you know, I already knew what I did. I was like, wow, I want another baby. Can't do that anymore. So mothers, I just say wait. And there's anyone who hasn't had kids and they're like, I don't want to ever have kids. You know, my sister is actually like that, and I told her, just please don't do that. And you know, my sister doesn't talk to me anymore, and that's a whole story in itself. That is a whole story in itself, and literally that makes me cry too, because the story is ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous, and I'm already emotional right now. So it's like pouring salt on an open wound. So if you haven't even had kids and you're like, I never want to have kids, I'm getting sterilized, I just ask you, please do not do that. Please do not do that, because sometimes when I look at my life and I'm like, what would I be doing? I know people want to travel. You know, I've never been a travel girly. I'm sorry. I've never been, I grew up really poor, and, you know, I was at home with animals. Like, I was so poor, you know, I don't celebrate Christmas anymore. But we were so poor, like, we didn't have Christmas. We didn't get, like, presents or anything. If we did get presents, it was, like, donation and stuff. But, what was I saying? Yeah, I just never been a travel girly. And yes, you okay? Mommy making food. So yeah, like if you have never had kids before and you're like, I don't want to ever have kids, do not get sterilized. Like, please, don't do it. Do not do it. Have you ever seen those old videos and it's those old people and they were like, I wish I had kids? You know, I believe them. Because sometimes I'm like I enjoy like with my being with my kids like so much, and then I'm like bored when I'm not with them. Like extremely bored. And I have so much fun like doing things with them. Like we went to like an adventure place and we were like playing, and then we like go to the library and we do all this fun stuff, and it's like fun. Like kids really bring out the child in you. And like I've always like cried and like felt so bad for people who like couldn't have babies and things before. And now I like, you know, I've already cried for them. So, you know, now that it's something that has like is with me, like it is awful. It definitely is awful. So I got their food. We're gonna eat outside in the grass. They're playing in their little pool. Look what I got. You guys, it's hot, so we're gonna eat outside in the grass. So anyways, that was a lot. Bye.